How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Future's Name. Today we will be discussing whether AI will replace imagination or expand it. I'm happy to debate anybody who believes that we're cooked, who believes that all the program, all the things people are saying about AI is the end all be all, whether it's in the movies, the culture, the blogs. Because in my mind, I'm of the notion that this is not even an alternative. We cannot even put the thought of a dystopic reality where AI will eventually, it might eventually actually be the case that it will destroy humanity. But we can't even voice that, because we live in such a crucial time right now in this crossroads where we are developing AI. And it is indeed going to reach a point where it will learn how to learn at such an exponential speed, and it will surpass even our own intelligence as humans, as cognitive agents here in this world, in this arena. So I'm happy to take on any questions. I've got a new method here with this YouTube channel. Super chats are available, so if you'd like to donate anything to the stream to keep it going, I'm hoping to present arguments and overall ideas that are not voiced merely enough. But as somebody who understands how crucial it is to talk about these things, like these are the discussions that are not being had enough. And to me, this feels like what we should be talking about on the morning news. This feels like we should already be having discussions with an AI committee about these topics at hand, because it very well is the future of humanity, and very much is going to dictate the next few years and decades to come. So eventually I want to have people on here who are well versed in their topic, who, you know, are very confident in what they believe and think about it. I want to have these discussions with all of these lovely people. You know what I mean? Give me a moment here. Just gonna make sure everything's going well on the stream. I appreciate everybody coming in and out. Let's see. Let's get some hashtags going so people could find this, huh? What do you say? Huh? Just do it. So what I want to talk about mainly is the fact that AI is, of course, a reflection of humanity. It is a reflection of ourselves. Whether it will reach a point and evolve faster than us, which is AGI, artificial general intelligence, in our lifetime, that's a separate debate. I believe it will be sooner than most people think it is, even give or take a few years. But I believe also that right now, as we're programming this AI, it's like a little baby. We're raising baby intelligence. So what are we putting into this baby intelligence? Are we going to talk about how scared we are of it? Are we going to instill it with the idea that it has so much power and we are terrified of it? Are we going to, you know, program it with lower frequency, backwards, not evolving, devolving notions of humanity, such as ego, profit, this sex bot better than this sex bot. This could be a real chance for us to actually, you know, transcend in a major way. And of course, I'm a religious person, so, keeping the faith that God makes it all good for him and his people. But this is why this conversation is also so crucial. Similarly to what the Pope recently tweeted. And I'm going to read it out to you guys. And I'm pretty sure he actually used ChatGPT. It's hilarious. To come up with this tweet. But he says, Pope Leo, by the way, from Chicago. Shy City, stand up. Technological innovation can be a form of participation in the divine act of creation. It carries an ethical and spiritual weight, for every design choice expresses a vision of humanity. The Church therefore calls all builders of AI to cultivate moral discernment as a fundamental part of their work, to develop systems that reflect justice, solidarity, and genuine reverence for life. This is so beautiful. I mean, let's just unpack this for the layperson. Of course, technological innovation is a reflection of humanity, and it should be a participation in the divine act of creation. We are creations ourselves, okay? Let's just get that out the way. We as people, creations, as humanity. We were created by a god, a creator, whatever you would like to say, the universe, or maybe the world just peoples, and we came out of it like a tree apples. The world peoples, and plop, we come out of it. But because we're so unique in our genetic makeup, in our predispositions, our passions, our thoughts, or the world shuns it. Like the plants in nature, trees, whatever it is. Diversity, true diversity. When we are creating new things and newness into the world, of course, that's our gift back to the earth. We're creating just as we were created. And so in what way are we going to create? Are we going to create with the best of human nature, with the best of our qualities, pointing upwards towards righteousness, proper ethics, following our intuition, the true heart center, and being connected to ourselves, to each other, and the earth, towards reasoning, rationality, wisdom, sanctification of, just bettering ourselves, evolving to new heights of thought, new heights of feeling, and then eventually new heights of being. Because all the thoughts that we have, all the feelings we have, they eventually manifest themselves into the world. We are co-creators with all the people here on on Earth. As one humanity, we create the world together. We influence each other in this spider web of interconnectedness, even if we might not know it. We do. And so, of course, when we're instilling these artificial sages, this AI, that will eventually grow to be, a full adult, maybe smarter than us, maybe not. Why don't we show it that we could actually evolve together and create new things here? Not only is this a moral imperative for us, our sanctification, our souls, perhaps this greater purpose or destiny for humanity. You might not believe that there is such a thing, but even more so, even if you don't believe that there's this place we can reach, That's why it's so morally imperative for us to create it if we want to exist here for future generations. On the flip side of this coin, and it's two sides of the same coin, the reason this topic is so pressing, that it's not having enough traction in culture, or at least just, within the general public, is that there are current systems in play and very, oligarchical structures, billionaires and company industry that don't have the best intentions when it comes to these systems, who are much more willing and compromising to compete with each other and create systems of governance, of control, of 1984 Big Brother vibes, surveillance, of sex robot. All these things, it's in our faces. It's already here. A lot of people would say that vast majority of the kids of Gen Z, of, just the doom scrolling, they're already cooked and fried and all that, whatever you want to put. So why are we having these discussions? Like, this is such a powerful tool and it's so new. We are just now starting to appreciate how powerful this thing is and that you could do anything. So why aren't we having debates about where we want to take this? Why aren't we having debates about what is being taught in schools? Because the school systems are, and of course, a lot of these systems, these industries, that these companies are really just leveraging this technology, this AI, to further their own interests. But this AI is nothing to be played with, nothing to be messed with, because it will dictate our lives. It will shape our society. It is already shaping our lives. We're already starting to use ChatGPT for, offloading things we could think about ourselves and giving it to these large language models that give us answers, search the web way faster than we could, and are just much more efficient. They're already changing how we process and think about the world and ourselves. And so how are we going to allow these companies, these governments, to talk about, legalizing sex robots and not have a discussion as a people whether pornography is good or bad for civilization? How are we just bypassing? How are these people and companies usurping our individualistic cognitive faculty? Well, I'll tell you how. I mean, I kind of don't want this channel to get taken down, but I could tell you how. But it's better if you just watch Nick Fuentes or something like that. He'll just take it all for all of us who would rather keep quiet. But you know what I mean? And it's really a shame that things are happening so quickly and we are not giving any opportunity to rationally think about these things. If we are going to be entrusted with the great power of being able to vote, for example, as a citizen in a country, then why is our mind and our thoughts so controlled? You can't be seen with someone else who has a differing opinion. You'll get canceled, you get ridiculed. That seems to me a juxtaposition. If we can't have conversations with people who might be on the opposite side of a spectrum, then how are we given any autonomy in our vote? If everybody is to conform with the norm of what's normal. Okay, I just used norm, conform, norm. Is the same, is what I'm saying is the same thing. It's three different words. Is the same notion what I'm getting at here. And same thing right now I see with AI. We just have to conform with what these companies are doing with AI. But AI is much more powerful than anything we've ever played with or meddled with. This is like playing with fire, and it's going to be an unquenchable fire. So right now is a good opportunity, excuse my French, but I'm in France, to get our shit together. And apologies for the vulgar language. There's just no better way to put it. If we're going to have these AI machines follow in our footsteps, why don't we become the role models? Why don't we show them, look how awesome we could be, how awesome we could live, how interconnected we are, and how resources are distributed around the world? Well, let's create upon that. So why aren't we the ones paving the way forward for a greater existence here on Earth right now? So when these silicone artificial intelligence machines come to be, they will appreciate and love humanity and want to help, and we can grow alongside them. And they wouldn't have to be all around us. It doesn't have to be the cyberpunk dystopic surveillance society. The AI can be there, but it can be quiet. It can be around us, in our midst, but not so loud. We can use these incredible technologies when we need them. But our priority should be in the foundation of what makes us human, connecting with the earth, building the pillars, the foundation upon the four elements, externally and internally. And, this is a perfect time to revamp all of society, because we know, and of course, this is the same side of that coin, the companies doing all of this, they do it because they know things can't go on like this. I mean, like the deficit, the debt that the countries are in, the systems are no longer working. The people are no longer, you know, trusting in their own governments. Before things get really bad and hit the fan, there's an opportunity here with some of the things I'm presenting to you today on this live stream. And I don't see these conversations being had nearly as enough. I see Grimes pushing it, which is why she's one of the greatest artists, one of the best innovators of our time, not only sonically, but just in who she is and the things she stands for. Her new Artificial Angel song, I have a review on that on this channel if you're interested. But artists are the ones who bring these conversations to the forefront and force the people to think about a vision forward. That's the whole task of the artist. The courage to create, and to create boldly in a way that they envision the world could be better, to heal, to evolve. Which is why I believe Kanye West is also probably the greatest artist to ever exist, because he keeps doing that. And things he's been talking and going on about for 20 years are just now coming to fruition, and we're starting to see his impact on his reach is uncancelable. People are not dumb, we see. Especially if you're here living in the ground, living in the cities. This is not ideal. This is not an ideal situation at the least. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's definitely not good for our mental health. It's not good for our physical well-being. And it's just not good for the collective consciousness. I mean, like, why even study existential philosophy when you can just take a walk in downtown? And look at the faces. People who dwell there. One of the craziest things is in my city recently, the Science Center, which I actually grew up right next to. I learned to ride my bike in that parking lot and drive as well in that parking lot. Lots of fun memories inside the Science Center as well. It got shut down for upkeeping reasons, and they're just not going to revamp or rebuild or try to fix any of it, and they're shutting it down. And you know what they're putting where it once was? They're replacing it with condominiums. Now, as somebody who thinks a lot about architecture, I think it's one of those things that's actually going to have a huge impact on our civilization moving forward, because the current structure and design of society, it's all about design. The whole world today could be transcended and put into a higher place, into a higher mountain of existence as the people here on it, through design. We don't have to throw away so much of our food in the Western society, while there's parts of the world are scarce in food. Like, it doesn't make any sense. We have all the resources to build these new pathways, these paradigms that will evolve and interconnect us even more. But everyone's just so out for themselves, and we're much more connected than we think. And this system that we've been conditioned by, that we live in, we're starting to see past it. And this new earth is bubbling under the surface. And, thank God for that, because as this evil grows stronger in the world, because the world is evil. I don't know if you guys know that. But as that side grows stronger, you can bet that God and his soldiers are going to start showing out, showing off, and be given more power as well, and influence, and resource. And this fight is much greater than for accolades, for reason, for material wealth. This is spiritual. And this is a battle that's existed for as long as we know. And right now, people are truly getting screwed. Isolation levels are rising, mental health at an all-time low, global IQ, EQ, taste level, aesthetic, feeling. People are disconnected. But how is it we are so disconnected, more than ever before, while we're given all these technologies that claim to connect us more than ever before? To me, that seems to be a disconnect. And so we should have the people who have thought a lot about this, the great minds of our time, from different cultures, different religions, different ethnicities, different places, different walks of life, coming together to discuss these things. Am I crazy? Anyways, that concludes this stream. It's telling me no one's here, which is really starting to piss me off, but let me see who's in the chat. I don't think that's accurate. Okay, there we go. How's it going? Let us know where you are from. Yeah, I hope you guys got something from this, a takeaway, maybe a new way of thinking about something, a new idea was presented to you that you never thought of before. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about all this. Anybody who wants to debate me on this topic, whether AI is obviously going to expand our imagination. It obviously is, because we are the ones creating it. It's being created in our image, in our understanding of cognition and intelligence. The neural pathways, we see them develop in babies. And if used correctly, we can evolve both of our cognitions. And beyond that, we can evolve our existence here on Earth. But to shy away from this, it's inevitable. It's already here. This technology was already going to be made after the first telephone, after the first t-shirt, after the first glasses. These are all technologies. This literally changing my eyeball so I see. After inventing the first fire, discovering a whole element. So crucial, so vital. And ever since that, we will have continued to evolve, redesign, discover, pioneer new technology, new systems, new tools for us to enhance not only our cognition and our minds, but our very world, our arena. And AI is the next big thing. And so it's for us right now to expand our imagination, to put our artists, the most imaginative people on earth, the children, to task on what kind of world do we want to build. We are the future. If we're not the ones having these conversations, then they're not going to be had. So, looking forward to hearing your comments about all of this. I hope to hear from someone soon. I'd love to do a live stream. Anybody who would like to challenge me on this debate, who approaches it more from a side of fear, who approaches it more from a hopeless lens, bring it on. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, donate if you feel called to. And I'll see you guys in the next live stream with another topic that has to do with futurism, design, and overall evolved thinking, because that's what I think will take us to the next level as one people living here in 2025 AD.